The Krell hunting party circled the crashed shuttle like carrion birds over a dying animal. Their Catonus armor gleamed under the binary suns of Theta 7, mandibles clicking in anticipation. They had pursued the human prey for 3 days across the crimson wastes, and now the chase was ending. 2 humans, hissed Commander Jacques, his thermal sensors piercing the shuttle's thin hull. Female and male, injured, weaponless. The other Krell warriors chittered with excitement. Humans were new to the galactic stage, soft, slow, and laughably vulnerable compared to the apex predators that dominated known space. That Krell had evolved on a death world where only the strongest survived, where hunts lasted weeks and prey was consumed alive. These humans would provide excellent sport before the killing blow. Inside the shuttle, Jasmine pressed a blood-soaked cloth against Kevin's side. The crash had broken 3 of his ribs and opened a gash that wouldn't stop bleeding. Her own leg throbbed where shrapnel had torn through muscle, but she pushed the pain aside. "They're just sitting out there," Kevin whispered, his face pale. "Why aren't they attacking?" Jasmine's dark eyes narrowed as she peered through a cracked viewport. "They're hunters. They want us afraid, want us to run." "Can't run with this leg," Kevin said, attempting a grim smile. "Guess we're making our last stand here." "No." Jasmine's voice carried a strange certainty. "We're not making a stand. We're going hunting." Kevin stared at her like she'd lost her mind. Outside, 8 Krell warriors each standing over 7 feet tall with natural armor and razor-sharp claws waited to tear them apart. Inside, 2 injured humans with nothing but emergency supplies. But Jasmine was already moving. Ignoring the screaming pain in her leg, she retrieved the emergency kit, pulling out the thermal blanket, the nutrition paste, the water recycler. Her hands moved with purpose, unfolding materials, testing weight and balance. "What are you doing?" Kevin asked. "Something our ancestors did for 200,000 years, she replied. "Something these aliens never learned," she explained as she worked, her voice steady despite the blood loss. The Krell were ambush predators, fast, powerful, designed for explosive violence. But humans were persistent hunters. Humans were the species that chased antelope across African plains for days until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. Humans were the apex predator that didn't need claws or fangs because they had something better: patience, endurance, and the ability to plan. "They expect us to fight or flee," Jasmine said, fashioning a crude spear from a support strut and a piece of sharpened hull plating. "They don't expect us to wait." She moved to the emergency supplies and began rationing. 3 days of water, 5 days of nutrition paste. The Krell had no supplies. They expected a quick kill. They were adapted for short, brutal hunts, not prolonged sieges. Kevin understood. His pain-clouded mind cleared with sudden purpose. We outlast them, Jasmine confirmed. "And then we hunt." The first day, the Krell tried psychological warfare. They broadcast the sounds of human screams recordings from other hunts. They scraped claws against the hull. They described in graphic detail what they would do to Jasmine and Kevin. The humans sat in silence, conserving energy, sipping water sparingly. The second day, the Krell tried to breach the shuttle, but Jasmine had spent hours reinforcing the weak points, creating bottlenecks where the Krell's size became a disadvantage. 3 warriors tried to force entry through the cargo bay. Jasmine waited in the shadows, her makeshift spear ready. When the first Krell's head emerged, she struck precise, controlled, targeting the vulnerable joint between helmet and chest plate. The creature shrieked and retreated. The Krell withdrew, confused. These humans weren't behaving like prey. The third day, the Krell grew hungry. Their metabolisms, designed for quick hunts, demanded massive caloric intake. On their home world, they fed immediately after killing. But here, in the barren wastes, there was nothing to eat, and the humans refused to come out. Commander Jacques' decision-making grew erratic. He sent warriors to search for food. The hunting party fragmented. Jasmine watched through the viewport, tracking movements, noting patterns. The Krell were slower now, their movements less coordinated. Dehydration and hunger were taking their toll. "Tonight," she whispered to Kevin. The 4th night, under the cover of darkness, Jasmine emerged from the shuttle, not running, not fighting, moving with the patient silence of a human hunter. She'd wrapped herself in the thermal blanket, masking her heat signature. Her legs screamed with every step, but she'd learned long ago to separate pain from function. She found the first Krell warrior collapsed near a rock formation, barely conscious from dehydration. She didn't hesitate. One strike, clean and efficient. Earth's oldest law: kill or be killed. The second warrior never saw her coming. Humans, for all their apparent weaknesses, could move with terrifying silence when necessary. By dawn, only Commander Jacques remained. He'd watched his entire hunting party disappear into the dark, victims of a prey species that refused to behave like prey. When Jasmine appeared before him, blooded, limping, but very much alive, his thermal sensors detected something that made his survival instincts scream. She wasn't afraid. She was the predator now. Jacques tried to run. His powerful legs, designed for short bursts, carried him fast across the red sand. But Jasmine didn't chase. She simply followed, walking, steady, persistent. Hours passed. The Krell commander's strength faded, his lungs burned, his muscles seized, and still, the human followed, always there, always coming. When Jokta finally collapsed, Jasmine stood over him, her improvised spear steady in her hands. My species, she said quietly, didn't become apex predators by being the strongest or fastest. We became apex predators because we never, ever stopped. She raised the spear. Earth's oldest law was simple, brutal, and absolute. The patient hunter survives. Epilogue. When the rescue ship arrived 2 days later, they found Jasmine and Kevin alive in the shuttle. Recovering, outside, 8 Krell corpses told a story that would spread through the galactic community like wildfire. The humans, the weak, soft humans, had beaten one of the galaxy's most feared predator species, not with technology or superior weapons, but with silence, patience, and a hunting strategy perfected over millennia of evolution. The galaxy learned a valuable lesson that day: never corner a human, because unlike other predators who kill with fury and violence, humans kill with something far more terrifying: methodical, patient, inevitable persistence. They don't chase you until you're tired, they chase you until you're dead, and they always finish the hunt.